Welcome in for another edition of Saratoga Saturdays. Thank God it's Saturday, not Sunday, because there's a horrible storm that is coming our way. But there's two really big races that we're excited about and that we're going to break down for you in just a second. Of course, the star of our show, Jonathan Kinchen, is going to have some winners for you, I'm sure. But we want to remind you, ABR, on the ABR site, of course, ABR, americasbestracing.net, for the past few weeks, we've been talking about it on the show that you could go online and it's voting fan choice awards. And this week, and this is why it's really important, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about this week because our own star of our show, Jonathan, is a part of the voting here. Again, is the fan choice awards for your favorite TV personality. So just FYI, Jonathan, I've already gone on board. I voted for you. But here's the thing. I realized today, because I was prepping for the show, I wanted to go back on to see, how many more votes that you got since we were talking about it on Twitter. And you can vote. I could vote again. Like you can vote as many times as you want. So
I like that.
I know. So if I were you, I'd be texting like every person on my cell phone. Sending them a link to the voting on americasbestracing.net and increase my votes because Nick Hines has over 5,200 votes. Gary Stevens, 4,600. You have 89, my friend. You have a lot of work to do, Jonathan.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Gary's got a little bit of an edge. He's won 3 Kentucky Derbies and he was in a movie called Seabiscuit. So I support that. I have no problems with Gary having that many votes. So we'll see what happens. I tell you what, my focus today is going to be on trying to make some money here at Saratoga, and hopefully that will work itself out.
One last one for you. I'm good friends with Mike Tirico. He only has 6 votes. What's up with that? But I know our main goal is for you to have more votes than Ken Rudolph, right? That's our goal. Like you're not going to reach Gary Stevens, but let's try to hope you beat Ken Rudolph for sure. All right, let's break it down. Like I said, there's 2 really big races, race 9 and 10. We're going to get into that in just a second, but let's have a little appetizer here. Let's look at race 3, Smart and Fancy Stakes. Post time is about 2:15. It's for 4-year-olds and up. It's on turf. Only 5 horses in this race. Let's talk about horse 1, Robin Sparkles.
Yeah, Robin Sparkles is a really cool horse, New York bred. She ran into a monster last time in Caravel. Caravel would win this race, I think, pretty easily. Excuse me. She's a talented racehorse, and like I said, she ran into Caravel last time, which is not the easiest of things to do. I think Caravel could potentially win the Breeders' Cup turf sprint. So I also like the 2 Lead Guitar. This is a horse that has been pretty consistent throughout her career. I think George Weaver does an outstanding job as a trainer, and I just feel like she, Lead Guitar getting back to Saratoga. She did not run well in her last start in Toronto at Woodbine. She broke a little bit slow. They actually declared her a non-starter that race because the starter was still kind of holding on to her when she broke away from there, and so they just pretended like she wasn't in the race. And so I think she'll run better in here as well, and I think you'll get a better price on Lead Guitar than you will on Robin Sparkles. Robin Sparkles is a fan favorite. Something about those New York breds. And she kind of had a really nice little run of wins. And so I think the value in this race will be on the 2 Lead Guitar. Okay.
So that's how you're playing it, Lead Guitar to win it and hoping that you get good odds.
Yeah. Usually what I'll probably do in this situation is try to play a pick 5, an early pick 5. It's a big day of racing. So there are other races surrounding it. Should be fun and to look at. And I'll probably just try to signal Lead Guitar in here and try to pick up some value in that wager by not having Robin Sparkle. She can absolutely win, but I think she'll be a little bit overbet.
Okay, let's jump into the 2 big races today. Race 9, the Lake Placid. Post time is 5:39 p.m. It's a grade 2, 2-year-old fillies, and it's on turf. Let's talk about the 2-horse. Technical Analysis is a Chad Brown horse, and coming off its first career win.
Yeah, she was. She came off her first stakes win last time in the Lake George. She was super impressive that day. She got an outstanding ride by Jose Ortiz. And look, she's absolutely the horse to beat in here. But just like a little bit like Robin Sparkles, I think she's going to be a little bit overbet. Last time felt like the time. She kind of snuck by everyone at 8-1 last time. She'll definitely be the favorite here today. And I think she can win. And I think that she's the most likely winner. But I'm going to kind of go out on a limb, and I'm going to go with a horse called Ego Trip, the 3-horse. So horse that actually has never won a race. She's still a maiden. Last time she broke slow. The pace was extremely slow, and she came rolling late and didn't quite get there. But I think that it's pretty cool that Brendan Walsh decided she ran a winning race. She just didn't win the race. Why waste time messing around with maidens when you can participate in a $200,000 stake? And that's the decision they've made. I think she could be tough in here if she runs back to that same performance, but needs to get out of the gate a little bit cleaner.
So how are you? Oh, actually, there's one more horse I want to throw your way. You talk about, the love for New York horses, right? Runaway Rumor, a New York horse, has won here for the first 3 starts. So has had a lot of success at Saratoga.
Yeah, Runaway Rumor is a horse that I think that, when she gets back with New York bred, she's going to be really tough to beat in those races. I just think she might be just a tad cut below horses like Technical Analysis or Ego Trip. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't leave the track or retire from the game if she won, but I just don't think that she's quite to that level of the top 2. So although she can, I don't think she will.
Okay, so how are you playing this with the 2
Yeah,
and the 3?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably play, I'll probably be playing the pick 5, the pick 6, that has the Alabama included in it. And the only 2 horses that I'll be using are Technical Analysis and Ego Trip. Like I said, Technical Analysis is the most likely winner and the horse I think that will win. But I think Ego Trip offers a ton of value as a maiden in this spot.
All right, let's take a look at race number 10. You just mentioned it, the Alabama Stakes, post time 6:13, a grade 1 3-year-old fillies. And 5 of the 7 ran in the Kentucky Oaks. So that's a little rematch here. That's exciting. Let's talk about the 6 horse. This is the horse that everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, Malathot. I think actually one of the first shows that we did, we talked about Malathot and how she was the best 3-year-old. And that day it was really interesting. It was a 4-horse field, so I think most people might have thought it wasn't a very competitive race. But because Malathot drew on the inside, she drew the rail that day. I think Johnny Velasquez and the team kind of made a decision to put her into the race, to put her on the lead or close to the lead, which is not her typical running style. It's not how she was ridden when she won the Kentucky Oaks. It's not how she was ridden at any point really in her career. But you don't want to be far off of a slow pace and then not have a chance to catch the other horses. So I think they made the right decision there. It just happened to not work out. In the middle of that race, Clairiere, who's also in this race, made a pretty decisive move at her that put a lot of pressure on Malathot early. When that happened, Maracuja then kind of took back and let them ding dong on the front end together, and then let Clairiere tire out Malathot, and then Maracuja came late and picked them up. I think the race will be run completely different this time. I don't think Malathot will be on the lead. I think she'll be ridden like she normally is and coming from off the pace. I like where she's drawn towards the outside. And the other thing that's really unique and interesting about the Alabama is the Kentucky Oaks, obviously one of the biggest races for 3-year-old fillies in the country every year, is run at 1 1/8 miles. The Alabama is run at 1 1/4 miles, so 1/8 of a mile further, and they're never going to run this far again, most likely, and they've never run this far yet. So it could be the real big equalizer. What I do know for sure is that Malathot has 0 issue with that added distance, and I actually think she'll appreciate it. So I think she's going to be really tough to beat. If anyone beats her in here, I actually don't think it'll be Maracuja this time. I think it'll be Clairiere, another horse that I think has a ton of talent and will appreciate that added distance. And Clairiere was ridden in a way that I don't think necessarily suits her last time either because of the situation. She had to make that early move at Malathot, or Malathot would have got loose and they would have never run her down. I think Clairiere will have a better shot in here. So those are the only 2 I'll use. In fact, I'll probably make a couple of pick 5 tickets where I'll have a majority of my money going through Malathot and a little bit less of it going through Clairiere. I want to try to be as efficient as I possibly can because I do think Malathot's the most likely winner, and I'd hate to have equal amounts of money on those 2 horses when I don't believe their chances are equal.
Any thoughts on the 7-horse, Army Wife?
Yeah, I mean, look, Mike Maker's the leading trainer right now at Saratoga. He's got, I think, 22 wins. He's beating Chad Brown. He's making all the right decisions when it comes to these horses and putting them in these spots. I think the barn's got a lot of confidence. I just think Army Wife is just a tad cut below these. She's been winning races, but she's been kind of winning those mid stakes races, not the top premier ones. I think Malathot, Clairiere, and even Maracuja are in a league of their own compared to some of these other ones. I wouldn't be shocked if Army Wife won, I think she's a competitive racehorse, but I do think she'll have a lot to find if she wants to win this race versus these horses.
Fantastic. Great stuff as always. So again, we will see you on Fox later on this afternoon, right?
Yep, I'm on. I never know. I just show up. I think 3:30, maybe 4.
I love it. You just show up. You just show up. And next week, exciting Travers taking place in Saratoga. I know at least a dozen people that are heading up there for it. So this is going to be a fun week. How excited are you for the Travers?
I can't wait. It's obviously the premier race of our meet here at Saratoga. It's a little bit bittersweet because when you get to Travers, you've only got 2 weeks left. But it's an outstanding tradition of kind of that midsummer derby. We talk about the Kentucky Derby all the time. This is basically the second Kentucky Derby of the year. They have that 1.25 mile race for 3-year-olds in the spring, and then they have the 1.25 mile race for 3-year-olds in the summer. So it's really a big deal. You'll get to see Essential Quality, the champion 2-year-old, and the horse that I think will be the champion 3-year-old. And he ran well in the prep for this race, and I think he's going to be really tough to beat. And it should be a lot of fun. Get some other big names in there. Dynamic One, a horse by the name of Miles D, starting to improve. So it'll always be a fun race when they have the Travers.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And so just a reminder, we're back next week, Saratoga Saturday, 9 a.m. for a really important Saturday at Saratoga. Jonathan, good luck this afternoon, and we'll be watching on Fox, my friend.
Thank you.
You got it. Good luck, everybody.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.